me for real now, have defeated the Dolphins 28-6 on Thursday Night Football. I want you guys to comment down below. Now, how much confidence do you have in this Ravens team? This 3-5 Ravens team. Do you have some confidence now? Right? Can we stand up? Can we rally around each other? Comment down below. Do you have faith now that this Ravens team can turn it around? Do you have faith now that this Ravens team can win the AFC North? Let me know down below in the comments section. This and much more on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Yes. Welcome back to yet another episode of Quiet Storm Sports. I am your host, Sutton Def. And you're on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel right now. And listen, our Ravens just got a W. This is my instant reaction to the Ravens' 28-6 win over the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. It was a good game. It was a great game. Dope hat. Appreciate y'all. Loving the cowboy hat. Appreciate you. For sure. Hey, look, man. If you are watching this video right now and you're part of the hashtag replay gang and you're watching this when you wake up in the morning, you're on your way to work or you're on your lunch break or whenever, shout out to you. My name is Sutton Def. You're listening to the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We got a lot to get into. Sean Coles in the chat says low scoring game mid. Hey man, a W is a W. And I'm gonna treat it as such. Just gonna say that. Hey, look, let me get into these stats real quick, guys. This was a good win. Take this for what it was, right? I know a lot of us would have wanted a Jackson 5. I know a lot of us would have wanted the Ravens to win this game, putting up 40 or northwards of 50 points. I get it. But this is one of those wins that you got to cherish, right? Second win in a row. The Ravens are now 3-5. And let me tell you something, 3-5 ain't never felt this good. Never. I'll tell you that much. Black Daniel says, Sutton, you fried? I might be. I might just be feeling good, though. You never know, Black Daniels. You never know. Kimberly, what's going on? Kimberly says, what's up, Sutton? What's going on, Kimberly? Jabari says, I called the Starks pick. We're going to get into that. I promise you we are. It's got real bright on me over here. All right, let me get into these stats, right? Lamar Jackson, 18 for 23, 204 yards passing, 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Got sacked twice. And he had 5 carries for 14 yards, right? Lamar Jackson looked as advertised in his first game back. In front of the world, national television. I don't care if you're a Ravens fan watching this. I don't care if you're a Dolphins fan watching this. I don't care if you're a fan of any other NFL team in the league right now. You have to appreciate what Lamar Jackson just did. Coming off of a hamstring injury. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. We got somebody making it rain here in the chat. Jeremy Early is early with the super chat donation. Appreciate you, Jeremy. Dropping the 2-piece in the chat. Says, missed out on 530 because that last H-hand catch. Ooh, I know that hurts, brother. I know that hurts. I know how that be. Trust me, I do. Let me continue before I get into what I see some of you guys saying here in the comments. Derrick Henry, 19 carries for 119 yards. He was averaging 6.3 yards per carry. Had a long of 35 yards on a carry. No touchdowns in this one for Derrick Henry. Like I said, Lamar had 5 carries for 14 yards. Keaton Mitchell had 4 carries for only 11 yards in this one. Kind of got bottled up. It's going to happen, guys. Look, it's going to happen. We advocated for Keaton Mitchell to get the ball more. We still want Keaton Mitchell to get the ball, period. I don't care if he had 4 carries for 11 yards in this game, which he did. Give him the football. Give him an opportunity, right? You got to work him in. You got to work him in. What was time of possession? Says Khalil Bowling. Let me see here. Time of possession. Okay, so time of possession went as follows, right? So the Ravens possessed the ball for 31 minutes and 43 seconds. And the Dolphins possessed the ball for 28 minutes and 17 seconds. So the Ravens did win the time of possession battle. They also won the turnover battle. We're going to get into that. Coach, what's going on, Coach? Says nice hat. Howdy, brother. Appreciate that. Hope you had a good time at the game tonight. I know you're at the game. Hope you, your wife, I saw you with Ken McCusick and his lady. I hope y'all had a great time. Because I had a great time watching it. And I can't wait to chop it up with you about it on Tuesday on the Ravens Roundup. And guess what? It's here. My Ravens Roundup cup. My mug is here, guys. I got it right here with me. My guy, Coach. He sent it to me. I appreciate him. Been having a good time on that podcast this season, so make sure you guys tune into Coach's channel. But on with the video, on with the reaction, guys, on with the reaction. I'm gonna keep going with these stats here. Let me see. So receiving, Zay Flowers 5 catches for 64 yards in this one. Isaiah Likely 3 catches for 60 yards in this one. A season high for Isaiah Likely there. Charlie Kolar, 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. Mark Andrews, 2 catches for 22 yards and 2 touchdowns. All 2s across the board for Mark Andrews. Justice Hill, 2 catches for 13 yards. Bateman, 2 catches for 13 yards and a touchdown. I'll say this about Bateman really quick. You guys know I'm a big Bateman truther here on the pod. So is Alex, my co-host. You guys saw that play earlier in this game where he could have fought through the contact. He was begging for a foul. The refs didn't give it to him. But if he maybe fought through the contact, he could have caught that ball right on that deep ball from Lamar. That's something with Bateman that I need him to get better at. Be that dog, right? Go get that football. Be that dog. Period. Don't look at the refs for a foul, right? Go get it. Get after it. Period. Kwame says he got held. Sure. But still, I want to see some effort. I want to see some fight. And the thing is, if you get held and you fight through that contact, that makes it even more obvious to the refs rather than you going like this and saying, hey, give it to me, right? Earn it. Sometimes you got to earn a foul. Anybody who played football would know that. Sometimes you got to earn a foul. Work for it. Exactly. Let me go through it. Let me see who else is in here. Keaton Mitchell, 1 catch for 7 yards. Derrick Henry, 1 catch for 2 yards. Tyler Loop didn't have any actual field goal attempts. He had 4 extra point attempts, though, and he made all 4. Shout out to Tyler Loop. That boy good. I like him. Let me see. Jordan Stout, shout out to him. Continues to punt his ass off. Shout out to Jordan Stout. Love what I've been seeing from him. Let me see what the Dolphins did. Tua Tagovailoa, 25 for 40 in this one, 261 passing yards, no passing touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked twice. Both times, by the way, by not both times. I'm sorry. Mike Green had 1 sack in this one. I apologize. Let me see. Travis Jones had a half a sack in this one. Who got the other half? I can't remember who got the other half of that sack. I know Mike Green got one sack on him, and it was kind of like at the end of the half, he kind of just fell on Tua as Tua was already falling down. So I don't really, to me, count it as a sack, but technically it was, but you know. And then the other one, I'm not exactly sure. But at the end of the day, Nnamdi Madubuike and now Mike Green and Tavius Robinson still lead this team in sacks. Just saying, guys. Just saying. But all right. Yeah, so this game overall, I was pleased with how the Ravens performed. I was. You know, I expected the Dolphins to come out and be scrappy. I expected them to come out and kind of thwart some of our game plan with what they had game planned. And that is exactly what happened, right? Because if I go through my notes here, let me bring up my notes from the game. If I go through my notes here, I was kind of frustrated a little bit in that first quarter. I was. Because it kind of felt like the Ravens were letting up anything that the Dolphins wanted to do in terms of running the football, especially those outside runs. Those outside runs, we had zero answer for them in the first half, especially that first quarter. And I put in my notes, I said this. I said, hey, look, Ravens are probably going to have to score the Dolphins out of running the football. And that's pretty much what they did. I'm not going to lie to you. So, let me see what else you guys are saying in here. I love it. A win is a win. Yes, it is. A win is indeed a win, for sure. Ravens are 3-5. You get a 10-day rest period until you play the Minnesota Vikings with another subpar quarterback in JJ McCarthy. I don't hate it. O-line needs to get better. Yes, I will say that. O-line does need to get a little bit better. I don't think they played a terrible game from the broadcast view, right? Got to go back and watch the All-22. I'm sure I'm going to do it. Coach is going to do it. So many other people are going to do it. All-22 Films is going to do it. Cole Jackson. You guys know all those creators as well. They're going to break down the the All-22 film and tell you who performed and who didn't across the offensive line. We got to take a look at it. There were some wins and there were also some losses. Listen, guys, here's the thing about grading an offensive line right after a game. When you're watching the game from the broadcast angle, you're mainly watching the ball. You're mainly watching the quarterback, right? What Lamar Jackson is doing. Maybe you might be watching downfield, and on some reps, maybe you are watching the offensive line, right? But here's the thing. On positive plays, you're not watching the offensive line. You're not paying attention. You're not notating anything that's going on the offensive line during the game, especially not anything positive, right? So that's why you kind of got to let the game breathe a little bit. You got to give it some time. Then you go back and watch the trenches tape. That's how this goes. What's going on, y'all? Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're feeling froggy, leave a little super chat donation. If you're watching on YouTube, again, appreciate y'all for coming through, guys. And again, if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, leave down below how you felt about this game. What is your confidence level in this Ravens team after this 28-6 win over the Miami Dolphins? Let me know. Let's continue, though. Turnovers. This Ravens team impressed me today. This defense impressed me today by forcing turnovers. Early in this game, first quarter, Alohi Gilman flipped the field stripped Taj Washington and recovered the football in the red zone. Man. Ashley says, I'm going to sleep great tonight. Same here, sis. Same here. That turnover at the beginning of the game, I think, was the start of, I don't want to say a landslide, because this game wasn't a landslide, right? Like it really should have been. The Ravens really should have put up maybe 40 points. I think Lamar was still a little bit hobbled in this one. Just a little bit. And I tweeted about that multiple times throughout the game. I think he was still a little bit hobbled from that hamstring. He was not going full speed. He was not as electric. He wasn't cutting like you normally see him cut. And again, think about it, guys. Lamar Jackson in his career has never dealt with a hamstring injury. Never in his career. Look it up. So I think the unfamiliarity with that type of injury is what kind of led him to letting up on the run game a little bit. You know, because when he was running the football, who was that? Sean Coles. Sean Coles just became a member. What's going on, Sean Coles? Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for becoming a member of the Rain Gang. But yeah, it looked like Lamar Jackson was letting up a little bit, just here and there in spots, you know, like he didn't look as electric. He didn't look as quick. He didn't look as elusive. He didn't look, again, as electric as he normally would. He did have a couple of runs where he got up out of there, right? And he kind of used his kind of like top line, straight line speed to get to the marker. But you didn't see that those quick cuts or anything like that. It felt like he wasn't quite as comfortable hitting that second or third gear yet, which is why I'm glad he got out of this game relatively unscathed. He didn't take a whole bunch of hits, right? So with this 10-day rest period that he has before the Minnesota Vikings, hopefully that hamstring can get just good enough to where now next week you're getting the actual authentic vintage Lamar Jackson. Mobility wise, that's it, right? Khalil says Monk called a great game, but this O-line is not sustainable. Again, guys, I got to go back and watch the O-line. I'm not going to sit up here and judge the O-line in its entirety based off of the broadcast angle. That would be very irresponsible for me to do that. So I have NFL Pro, just like the other guys. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to rewatch the All 22. And I'm going to go over it and see who was winning or losing their assignments on the offensive line. And I'll report back tomorrow. However, this was a great game, guys. This was a great game. You know, I understand a lot of people would have wanted the Ravens to put up a little bit more points, like I said before. But you cannot ask for much more at 2-5. You can't ask for much more than a win. You just can't. And now the Ravens are 3-5. And that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. Let me go through some more of my notes here. Let me see. Yeah, so Lamar Jackson threw a touchdown to Mark Andrews in the first quarter. Right after the Alohi Gilman strip and recovery. Again, like I said, the turnovers were huge in this one. The Ravens weren't doing a good job at stopping the outside runs. Stanley got bullied really bad by Chop Robinson in the first quarter. Got bull rushed to hell. Zay Flowers, I thought, looked good in this game. Let's see. Andrews, of course, had the 2 touchdowns. Hamilton went down with an injury. And, you know, it looked bad, right? But in typical Kyle Hamilton fashion, he gets right the fuck back up, comes in and makes a big play. I don't know what's up with Kyle Hamilton. I don't know why he does that. It's kind of funny to me at this point. But he did that, right? What else did I have from this game? What other notes? Hamilton came right back in. The Dolphins still drove down the field on that play. That was in the second quarter. Second half, I thought Monken was a little bit predictable with the 1st and 10 Derrick Henry runs. You know, I felt like we could have ran a little bit more, a teensy bit more play action on those early 1st and 10 runs, or early 1st and 10 plays, I should say. But I'm not the offensive coordinator. I just thought that, you know, we could have got our pass catchers just a teensy bit more involved in this one. Just a little bit more. Because the Dolphins were selling out, stopping the run. Zay Flowers made some big plays when we needed to. Bateman had a touchdown from Lamar. That was good to see. In the second half, the defense really started to step up, right? They started to step up. The Dolphins started to drive down the field in the second half, but they ended up turning the ball over. And that was kind of all she wrote. That was kind of all she wrote from there. Roquan Smith dropped a pick in this game. That kind of pissed me off. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Not going to lie. Marlon Humphrey forced a big fumble. Good to see that from him. Really great to see that from him. Love that. Khalil says, the Dolphins move the ball, but yards don't win games. Points do. Defense was true bend, but don't break. Exactly. You're right about that one, Khalil. You're absolutely right about that one. I liked a lot what I saw from this Ravens defense tonight. Now, in the last 3 games, since bringing Kyle Hamilton closer to the line of scrimmage, you have teams averaging how many points? Let me tally it up really quick. Let me tally it up really quick right here in real time for you guys. $13 a game. Since moving Kyle Hamilton in the box, teams have played us and scored 13 points a game on average. And that's the Rams, that's the Bears, and now the Dolphins. So I don't want to call it a comeback on the defensive front, but that's what the hell it's looking like right now. 80 people watching live. Salute to you guys. Howdy to you guys. This is Quiet Storm Sports. But the defense looks like it's making a turnaround. They're allowing less points per game, less than 20 a game in the last 3. They're averaging 1.3 turnovers a game. They're getting their juice back. That's what's happening right here in real time. You saw Alohi Gilman strip that football out in the first quarter. You saw Marlon Humphrey punch that football out later in the game. This defense is going back to looking like Ravens football. I will say this, though. Oh, it was 3 turnovers. I forgot about the Malachi Starks pick. 3 turnovers in this one. 3 turnovers. I will say this. I think it was the end of the second half. There were some run fits that I was really kind of pissed that Marlon Humphrey and Malachi Starks didn't get in on. You know, when I saw the slow motion replay, there was like a stood up run that could have gone one way or another, like pushing the pile towards the first down or away from the first down. And Malachi Starks and Marlon Humphrey were just kind of sitting back, like waiting for whatever to happen. Like, no, hop in there. Gang tackle. What did I say in the preview episode? Gang tackle, rally tackle. That's going to be the key. We saw them do it very well in some spots. And in other spots, they didn't do as well. But overall, man, defense played well. Defense played well. Heart of the City Clothing. Shout out to all Ravens podcasts. Shout out to you, brother or sister. Shout out to you. Wherever you are, however you may be doing, hope you're doing well. This is the Purple Rain Podcast, Quiet Storm Sports. I am Sutton Def. Ravens get a big W. Big W, 3-5, baby. Again, like I said, 3-5 ain't never felt this good. Never. Promise you. Not in my lifetime. Not in my lifetime. Great win. Defense has held the last 3 opponents to 13 points a game. 13 points a game. Lamar Jackson threw 4 touchdowns in this one. I was on watch for a Jackson 5. I really wanted it. But the offense sputtered a little bit in the fourth quarter. Kind of felt like they were, hey, we won this one. Let's just conserve energy. And honestly, at this point, I'm not mad at it. Look, you're 3-5. There's no need to run up the score and showboat and gloat on a Miami Dolphins team, a lesser than Miami Dolphins team on Thursday Night Football. There's no need for it. We're going to go out. We're going to blank you 28-6. We're going to handle business. We're going to pack our bags. We're going to go back home and get ready for Minnesota. Because this is about going 1-0 every fucking week. That's the mindset. That's the mentality. Go 1-0 every week. The Ravens went 1-0. As soon as the Ravens felt like they won that game, they were like, okay, cool. Let's rest it. Let's chill. On to Minnesota. The sights automatically shifted just like that. Just like that. I loved that. I love that. Kwame said, tell me why I forgot to start Lamar and had Tua out there in my fantasy league. Brother. My brother in Christ. Khalil says, a rusty Lamar threw 4 touchdowns. Just wait until he gets back right. And like I said earlier, Khalil, I thought Lamar looked slow out there. There were a couple of plays, a couple of instances where I thought Lamar could have got up out that pocket and really made something happen with his legs. But instead of looking like Lamar Jackson, he looked more like mobility wise, right? Instead of looking like Lamar Jackson mobility wise, he looked more like, I don't know, like a Josh Allen running. Josh Allen, not nowhere near as fast as Lamar Jackson. So I feel like it's a good comparison, right? Heart of the City, appreciate the sub. But yeah, he felt slower. He looked like he was a little bit slower, still kind of getting back from that hamstring. He did have that one big run in the third quarter where, he went for a first down. I like to see that. However, I will stand by what I'm saying right here, right now. Lamar still looks just a little bit hobbled. And I didn't expect him to come out there and run the football all up and down the field. I didn't. But I was a tad bit concerned. And this kind of goes back to why, if Lamar said he wasn't ready to play 96 hours ago against the Bears, why would he be 100% tonight against the Dolphins? You know what I mean? He's not 100%. And for Ravens fans who had this vision of him going out there and being 100%, then I think we were just kind of sold fool's gold. And Lamar Jackson even said himself, he agreed with a reporter in saying he was 100%. Maybe that was just him saying that, but he didn't look like it tonight. Not running the football, at least. 4 touchdown passes, super damn efficient, great passer rating, QBR. Loved it. Trust me, I adored it. Every bit of Lamar Jackson's performance tonight, but the rushing and the escapability did seem a little bit waned down. It did. But you got to expect that coming from a hammy. You got to expect it. Got to expect that. But a rusty Lamar, nonetheless, 4 touchdown passes. God damn. Talk to me nice. Huh? People don't understand hammies ain't nothing to play with, says Greg. Exactly. Steve Loop. What's going on, Mr. Loop? Congrats, Flock. 3-5. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Tyler Loop. 4 extra points up. 4 extra points made. Shout out to Tyler Loop, man. He's having a great season. And this was a game where the Dolphins kicker missed a kick early in this one. Early in the first quarter that would have kept them kind of tight with the Ravens, right? But he missed that one. It really killed their momentum on that drive. The Dolphins had a few drives. They were in the red zone a few times where they came up with nothing. So, I mean, I'm sure if you're a Dolphins fan watching this, I'm sure no Dolphins fan wants to watch this right now. But if you're a Dolphins fan right now, probably a bad day to be a Dolphins fan. Let us get Jalen Phillips. Why not, right? Or Bradley Chubb. Hey, we'll give you a second for Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb ran through, who was it? I think Chubb ran through Ricard. I think Bradley Chubb ran right through Patrick Ricard's face in the first half of this game. It was nasty, too. It was nasty. I don't know if that had to, it had anything to do with, this just being Pat Ricard's second game back or what. But he got his lunch money taken on that one. He got his lunch money taken. That was bad. That was bad. Chubb balled for sure. Steve Loop gives a shout out to Jordan Stout. Yeah. Jordan Stout balled out. Stout balled out. He did. Heart of the City said just pushed him over on that sack. Yeah, he did, right? It was almost like Pat Ricard had bad footing almost. Like, you never see Pat Ricard get like stonewalled. Not stonewalled, but like pancaked, right? You never see Pat get pancaked like he normally does to other people. He got it done to him on that rep. I'll say that. Moggs giving a shout out to the turnovers. Oh my gosh. 3 turnovers forced. That's how you win a football game, baby. That's how you win a damn football game. Take the ball away. Can you imagine how much closer this game would have been if the Ravens didn't force 3 turnovers? Think about that. The Ravens won 28-6. 28-6. That's less than 3 possessions, guys. Yeah. Take the ball away. Take the ball away. Sean Cole says Zay looked better. Zay looked good. Yeah, for sure. I still want to see more out of Zay Flowers. I do. He had a nice first down conversion in this one in the first half where he kind of wiggled around when I thought he should have been tackled sooner, and he got the first down. I know you guys remember that one. And he had also a deep shot from Lamar. I remember that one as well. Almost got into the end zone, but got tackled just short. Almost didn't score on that drive, if I remember correctly. Also, at one point, right before the Charlie Collard touchdown, shout out to him, my Amazon Prime Video just completely went out. I don't know what that was about. The whole stream just froze, and I had to turn my TV off and turn it back on. And by the way, again, I was watching the Prime Video stream, which I thought was the only broadcast for the game, and I'm checking my phone, and the Ravens Twitter account and the beat writers are all way ahead of me. They're 3 plays ahead of me. I was pissed, man. I was pissed. I don't know if it's because I'm on, central timing and the game was played on the East Coast. I don't know what it was, but that Lamar pass to Zay looked like a play from 2023. Yeah, it did. Kwame, we're on the same page with this one because that's where my brain went too. That's exactly where my brain went. I was like, man. Yeah. In 2023, two against the Dolphins, right? Where he kind of flipped his hips and he just goes downfield to Zay up the sideline. Yeah. Perfect throw, by the way. Lamar Jackson had a lot of really, really good throws in this game too. Outside of the miss that he had to Bateman where it was low in the first quarter, after that, he was dialed in throwing the football. Dialed in. Loved it. Yeah, more of those slot fades for Zay, for sure. Game is faster on Twitch than Prime. I didn't know they had the game on Twitch. Damn. You gotta link me. Stream lag, satellite, which is what they are viewing. Yeah, for sure. I know that. I just didn't think it would be that far behind, or else like why not let us watch it on cable, right? Better play calls by Monken again. I do agree. I just think that Monken can be a little bit more, just a little bit more creative on 1st and 10, especially in negative territory. Right? Everybody knows on 1st and 10, you're going to give it to Derrick Henry. And you're probably going to give it to him right up the middle. So I want to see some play action off of that. We saw a lot of success. We saw a lot of success with play action passes from Lamar Jackson. A lot of success. I think he's completing over 90% of his passes, Lamar Jackson is, out of play action plays. So, yeah. Start hitting that more. Oh, Mog says Henry was also on the field on critical downs. Yes, he was on the field 3rd down. I saw that. I noticed that. That made me happy, right? So it feels like Monken is getting there, right? Monken is getting there. He's not all the way there yet. Again, this was his first game back with Lamar Jackson. And also, look, Monken is going to have... Oh, my gosh. This Ravens team, nobody got hurt tonight, by the way. This Ravens team is in prime position. Literally prime position to right the ship all the way, to make a full 180 on the season. If you think about it, you have 10 days of rest before the Minnesota Vikings. Nobody got hurt in this game. Todd Monken sees what it's like. First game back with Lamar Jackson. He's going to come back with a much more foolproof game plan in the next one. Lamar Jackson knows what his hammy feels like, has 10 days to recover and prepare for the Minnesota Vikings. This defense, coming off of a 3-turnover game, only allowing 6 points on the road. They're flying high right now. They're changing the narrative. All signs point up, baby. All signs pointing up. Listen, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down here. Again, this was just my instant reaction to the game. I'm going to go live tomorrow. I promise you guys, I will be live. I'll probably go live sometime midday. Just stay tuned. Make sure you hit that notification bell. So whenever I do go live, you will be notified so you can tune in. You can listen in. Like the video. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video before you get out of here. Subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoyed this instant reaction to the Ravens 28-6 victory over the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Again, I am your host, Sutton Def. You are listening to Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast, the YouTube channel. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay positive, test negative, and never, ever, ever forget to call God. You guys have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening. Goodbye.